We got Lord SKO joining me here for Sports Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, Live 365, iHeartRadio, one of the nicest MCs in the game, Washington Heights own, New York's own. Welcome to the show, man. How's everything going?
Chilling, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. Looking forward to this album release, PIFF, March 28th.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely ready for it. It's been a long time in the making, so I'm just excited that it's coming out and to see everything coming into fruition. It's beautiful.
You got a tour coming up with it too, starting out in
Yeah,
Boston.
yeah. Boston first date. I'm excited. Boston shows me love and shit, but we hitting a bunch of. Oh, my bad.
Oh, you're good.
I don't know if I cut out or nothing,
Oh
but
no, you're fine.
yeah, no, I'm doing Boston and a bunch of other cities, East Coast, West Coast. Got two dates in Canada up on there, so it's a good time, man. It should be fun.
Yeah, it should be. Maybe you'll run into Drake out in Canada.
And to who?
Into Drake.
Oh shit, that'd be crazy, right?
Yeah.
we are going to Toronto, but Canada's a big spot. I feel like we'd be more likely to run into him in LA, maybe. But
Yeah, probably. It hasn't been the best time for him as of recent, but
yeah, no, it definitely hasn't. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but he'll be back. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a lot of respect for Drake because I think he is I think he got like the formula, like he's proven that he can succeed in any lane, whether you like it or not. He could go make a song in like literally any genre or doing any accent he wants, and it'll get a couple million streams at the worst.
yeah.
So you got to give it to him for that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But we got a real MC in here in the building tonight, true student of the game.
Yes, sir.
You really fell in love with hip hop at an early age, especially when it came to Doom. So, what was your first recollection of finding MF Doom? And did you ever go past back to when he was Zevlov X with KMD?
Yeah. I have done some knowledge, on the KMD shit. I don't know if you know, my manager Dante actually signed KMD. So,
Wow.
he was really early on Zev Love X and his brother and Sub Rock and all of that, fucking Pete Nice and third base. Like he was involved with all of that. So I definitely, as I got into Doom, I felt like I wanted to go and do the knowledge on his earliest work. But at the same time, like I definitely am more of a listener of like Doom and obviously Mad Villainy is one of my favorites. But I love the Victor Vaughn, King Ghidra, Danger Doom. Like, he got lots of shit. But it's always fascinating to hear rappers' first shit and just kind of like it's cool to kind of see where people like what elements they take that are kind of unique to them and they just kind of wind it tighter. You know what I'm saying? Not to get off track, but like I love Seinfeld and I love Curb. But I think one of my favorite things about both of those shows is someone who enjoys both of them is kind of like seeing how the humor they started in Seinfeld grew in Curb, and like obviously it wasn't on cable television, so they could go a little further with the raunchiness or curse or whatever it is. So like it's cool because someone has a distinctive style, and over fucking 10, 20, 30 years, like they grow it. It's like a snowball effect, but you can still see where it comes from at its core.
I did do my research on you. I know you're a big Seinfeld fan.
I like Seinfeld.
Also, because I really want to get into your
Yo,
name
you
because
mind if I smoke on the shit?
yeah, you're good. You can smoke.
Hell yes.
Because there's so many stories that I've heard. There was this homeless guy that grew up around you, Lord of the Rings. You're a
Yeah,
big wrestling fan. Kid
huge.
Cudi had some inspiration to your name, and also
Absolutely.
like making a character of yourself. And Paul Heyman's son's friend gave
Yeah.
you. What? Let's boil it down here to really how the name came about. I've heard so many stories.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple. All of those things do have significance in it. But yeah, my last name is Fersko, Fersko. So the SKO comes from that, pretty straightforward. And yeah, my man like gave me that name, and I just thought it was really dope. So I kind of wanted to run with it. And then the Lord part, and part of why I thought that was dope for the Kid Cudi instance is because he did that with his name, Mez Cudi. Um, and yeah, so I thought that was really dope, and I wanted to kind of like take some of that swag a little bit. Um, and so I did. And then the Lord shit kind of came from Yeah, there was a guy in my neighborhood. Um, some might call him a crackhead, some might call him homeless or whatever. He was just a dude who I'd see on the block, whatever. And yeah, he would always be asking for $1 cigarette, and I would see him on the train or on my way to the train all the time. So it was one of those things where like I saw him once and I was like, okay, whatever. And I saw him like 20 times. I was like, oh, this guy, like I see him every day. And it kind of started to fuck with me a little because it's not a lot of people that you see in New York like every day. Like there are certain people, but it's also like, you start to feel like the Matrix is glitching on you. You know what I mean? It starts to feel like that once you start seeing them in different places. Then you're like, yo, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And like I would see him in different places, granted on like the same like 5 block radius, but I still felt it was significant. And I wear a lot of rings, so he would say, "Lord of the Rings, like let me get a Newport, let me get $1." And bags.
It's crazy. And I did hear he's no longer with us. Rest in peace from what from doing the
Definitely, yeah,
research there.
definitely haven't seen him in quite some years. So you know,
Rest in peace. Do you still have this Nano, this iPod Nano from when you were a kid? Because that was the intro
oh
with
yeah, I
DMX, Biggie.
probably my mom keeps a lot of shit, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was somewhere. We did move twice since I was like very young, so and obviously as technology has passed, like that might have gotten thrown a strew, but at the same time, now you got me thinking. Now I'm like, damn, my first iPod, like that's a really special thing. Now I'm thinking, now I'm like, damn, I gotta hit up my mom's and see where that's at.
I wonder how much they're worth because people really need to look into this. They could be holding on to a fortune with the Nanos, the Shuffles, the first iPod.
I mean, if they have like historical significance, then yeah, probably. Like I think if someone was like, get like the iPod that like fucking Jay-Z did an album with, like you could probably, like I love memorabilia shit. Like that shit is really dope to me too. Like, so I'm a sucker for that.
Big pun, huge influence for you, but a
Hell
name
yeah.
that really comes up when they talk about Lord SKO is Cool G Rap, and you're someone that is a listener of Cool G Rap. So what was your intro to Cool G Rap? Was it with DJ Polo or was it more of his solo albums?
Yeah, honestly, it was really like I'd say like some solo shit. Like, like Coogee got a lot of music too, like a lot of music. But I'll be honest, like he wasn't like one of the first rappers I listened to. Like I had to kind of dig a little bit before I got to Coogee, like on that surface. I think Coogee I kind of picked up just from being around a lot of my older homies, and like it definitely isn't a name that many people like my age, I think, are familiar with. But I think it is a name that, if you're a real hip hop head from that era, like his name can't go without being mentioned, especially because of his influence and everything. But that was just the name that I started to hear get thrown around a lot, especially just because we all be on the multis and because people know I'm a hip hop historian. So I think a lot of the older cats was trying to school me to game. You know what I'm saying? And the first I had heard some Cool G before this, but what really like kind of did that was when Dante tweeted that, but that I sound like a white Cool G. So, you know, there you go.
Crazy. And that's someone that you definitely want to be compared to in the rap game, one of the greatest to ever do it. 456, rated XXX. Those are some of the craziest lyrical albums you'll hear in hip hop for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I like the blanking on the name of it, but I like the one where he's like doing the Scarface cover.
Oh, Roots of Evil.
Yeah, Roots of Evil, facts. The joint Let the Games Begin on that shit. That's my joint right there.
Crazy. Yeah, that one's a tough one.
Yeah, that's my joint. That's my joint for sure.
Crazy. Yeah, that's another that's low key. That's the first time I've ever had a conversation with someone that's been a fan of that album. That no one brings that one up because everyone always goes to like Road to the Riches, his early
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean, they got some cuts on that one for sure.
Mhm.
I remember that was one of the first ones. I mean, I listened to 456 because everyone told me to do that. But what really caught my ear, or caught my eye rather, was the cover. I'm really big into mafia shit, so I was like, oh shit, he did that. Like, let me see what's up with this one. So I checked that. I think that was probably my second or third uh Cool G joint that I listened to.
Underrated album.
Facts.
Underrated. You've also paid homage to Big L with United Palace. So get into the messaging behind that album because I think that was important for you to pay homage to Big L.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was super important to me. And, I felt like little bit thematically, there was some similarities, you know what I'm saying? Um and that's really what it came down to, you know what I'm saying? I really like felt like I needed to pay respect to him, just because he paved the way in his neighborhood, and in terms of just giving it recognition and credit, and like telling a story, and just making music that reflected like where he was. You know what I'm saying? Most importantly, you know what I mean? Like people could say like boom bap this or whatever that, like, like I just think like being able to translate like where you're at in your life, like in present day or past, or even if you manifest in the future, like being able to translate that into sound is like that's truly the skill of making music. You know what I'm saying? Is making that feeling. So yeah.
Tough. Yeah, that was a great album for sure.
Yeah.
Paying homage to Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous, another hip hop classic. What would you say? Because with the discord and hip hop, because you're someone that was born in 2004. I was born in 99, so I still had the 50 Cent Dipset era, still coming off of the 90s, so you're still familiar with it. But why do you think there's such a discord to the younger audience when it comes to lyricists? I mean, you've done your research. You had that nano back in the day. Your parents had the old school hip hop on there. Why do you think there's such a discord when it comes to the younger generation wanting to go back and listen to the greats? Is it because their parents didn't push it on them, or is it because they just don't care? What would you say that discord is, where it comes from?
See, that's a really good question because, to be honest with you, I think it just is like I feel like we kind of are in a different situation in the sense of like for my era of kids, like or whatever, we're young adults now. But there's been like new subgenres. So many subgenres have emerged within hip hop. Like in the '90s, it was like West Coast and East Coast, and then like there was some Southern rap, like, and that's what it was. If you were from down there, you rap like you were from down south. If you were from New York, you rap like you were from New York. If you were from LA or the Bay, you rap like you was from there. And there's definitely still some regional like specific things. Like I think drill is very specific to New York, and even like hearing Kendrick's last album, that's very inspired by what's going on in Cali right now, both northern Bay shit and LA shit. But like so much shit came out that like blended that then went on to be influential. Like I think ASAP Rocky is genuinely the most influential rapper of the last probably 20 something years, maybe no, not 20 something, at least last 10 to 15. Just because like he kind of gave a middle ground to like shit. And like, I think another thing that kind of truthfully isolated a lot of people was like like this idea that like you could only listen to one or the other. Like I remember when I was like 14 and like really getting into hip hop, it was mumble rap or like rap, like, and like I thought the motherfuckers on YouTube rapping a million miles per hour was mad corny. Like, did I like Lil Pump's music? Like, not so much. I thought it was cool, but like, it kind of like there was like options within the option. Like hip hop became what rock was in the '90s. Like in the '90s, you could listen to rock, but you might like soft rock. You might be a metalhead. You might, you know what I'm saying? Like there was different lanes to pick from, and that's kind of what I think happened. I just think the menu got bigger and it diversified, and like truthfully, like mainstream hip hop was like rooted in boom bap for a very long time. It isn't right now, which is like crazy, but that's also like the first time in the history of the 50 years of hip hop, 51 or 52 now, that's ever been the case ever. You know what I'm saying? And that started what, 2016 officially? Like that's the year of like trap that everyone's like 2016 trap. Like, like if that's when that started, we're only 8 years in or 9 years in, pardon, it's fucking 2025. I'm losing my mind here. But, like that is something that I think people don't think about. Like there's history unfolding right now in front of our eyes, and like I think hip hop as a whole, and like maybe I'm a hypocrite for saying this because I make boom bap, and a lot of people look at me like I'm like the '90s New York kid. But I think hip hop, a lot of it is revisionist memory, you know, like. And that's just shit in general, like sports too. You know what I'm saying? Like people look at like the old shit like it's the best, no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think you definitely made a strong point, and I agree with everything you said, especially with sports, because you got the old school people that say they like the old NBA, they hate today because
Right.
it's all three
Yeah.
pointers,
You
no
know, but
defense.
it's the same shit with hip hop, dude. It's the same shit. There's motherfuckers who's like, I'm only listening to Biggie and Pac. But it's also on the other side, it's motherfuckers like, yo, y'all were plumbers. Like that's how Netspend motherfuckers look at like me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. Like I'm in there throwing elbows, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bill
But
Lambert in the spot. You know what I mean?
yeah, we need that though. That's why you're shaking up the game. That's why you're getting the attraction from all these legends in hip hop, and you've been
Sure,
able to work with a lot of them. Statik Selektah, Bun B.
sure.
How was that
Yeah.
experience? How did you link? Well, let's get into linking up with Static. How you linked up with Static? Because then you would get to work with Bun B.
Yeah, yeah. So Stat, that's my man. It's crazy. Like that's really one of my like best friends. You know what I'm saying? He's a great dude, but I'm really grateful for his mentorship and everything that he has brought to me, and just believing in me and taking me into rooms that I wouldn't have been in necessarily. But how I linked with Stat is actually like it was just really perfect timing, bro. Like I was rolling out United Palace. I had Yellow Tape that had just dropped. Um, and like the week that dropped, which I think was in May, it was in May, yeah. The week it dropped, like he tapped in, he played it on the radio, and he was doing this block party, the Bushwick Collective that he does every year. And he hit me up. It was just like, yo, I want you to come rock on my block party. And I was like, oh shit, like hell yeah, like what's the word? And like, we kind of just were locked in since then. He like started doing Shade 45 live again from his studio. And he was like, yo, I want you to be the first person to come freestyle on that shit. Like we revamped it. I was like, hell yeah. And we just been locked in, man. And Bun and Stat are super locked in. They're 4 albums in now. And each year they do something special. So I was blessed to be a part of it for the last 2 years. And Bun is just a very gracious human. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of really good game. Um, he got $1 million smile, just a very, very good energy, Like there's a reason why, he got the name Uncle Bun. He's like the very likable, like easygoing. He's a good dude, and he's a machine, he works super hard. Like I've seen him bang out 15 tracks in a day twice now. And super legend, you know what I'm saying? Paved the way for Southern hip hop, a lot of it, and he's still going strong, and he's been a instrumental part in a lot of other upcoming artists come up. So like he was on Drake's first album, Drake and everything. I know he was
So
just
far
shit.
gone.
Bun has songs with everybody, yo. Like he has songs with literally every single person you could think of. They probably have a song with Bun B. Like I've played this game before. Like think of a rapper and then just look up them Bun B. They like there's like at least an 85% chance they got a song together. Like not even lying. Like straight up.
Yeah, I believe you. He's worked with pretty much everyone.
Beyonce, Jay-Z, fucking everybody, dude. Like so it's cool because now I'm like, yo, I'm one person away from Beyonce.
Exactly. You're close, man. Keep doing your thing. You're getting the recognition out here. When would you say because it really started out when you were younger, you were writing to your cousin's beats. Is your cousin still a producer? Is he still out here doing his thing?
I'll be honest. He's like a family friend cousin, but we kind of lost touch. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it is.
Oh,
Family drama. You know what I'm saying? Losing recipes, but that's what it is. It's for the better. I'm still grateful for that opportunity, and yeah.
mhm. From that point when you were receiving those beats and you weren't really taking it seriously at that time, what was the moment that you took it seriously after that leap?
Yeah, I mean, like I was taking it serious. I think a lot of upcoming artists kind of face this struggle. Is like they don't really know where to start. You know what I'm saying? And like people want to do something so badly, but like they don't know where to go record. They might even go record and then not know where the studio is at. And actually, you know what? This is actually a good segue because I know my boy is watching. He told me he was going to sign in. Is my man Mac. He was the homie. We just used to run in like the same circle, a bunch of New York City kids running around being crazy. But he lived in Harlem and I lived in the Heights. He was just like, like a 10-minute train ride away. And he really pushed me to like start taking my shit serious. And he made beats too, so I had like a supply with him. He would send me ideas, like I would send him shit. He'd be like, "Yo, like I made this beat. I want you to like." He was a good producer in the sense of like he'd be like, "Yo, I want you to rap, do some shit like this on this beat." You know what I'm saying? So he like kind of gave me a little bit of direction, and he produced like we put out a tape. We did the whole shit. I like recorded it in my crib and whatever. And like we were like 14, I think 15. Um, and that Mac is still like my boy. He don't really make beats no more. He does really dope photographies in school, but he's a really dope kid. Every time that we got to connect, it's always special. But what I'm saying, he really pushed me into taking it seriously, and like 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 I wanted to take it. Like it's funny because now a lot of people come to me and they're like, "Yo, what do I do?" Like I want to make music, and it's like like I was blessed that I had people around me who make music. Like some of these people like just want to make music. They don't know anybody who makes music. My problem is I know too many people who make music. I'm like, where's the regular people at, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? But, like I always tell upcoming artists, like my best piece of advice is to shoot music videos because once people see it, like sometimes people just need to see it to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like they need something visual to accompany the audio that they're hearing, and they just need to like they just need to see some video that doesn't look like shit to be like, oh, this guy might actually be all right. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, especially too because you're someone that's really well-rounded in this industry and just doing things to the fullest extent now lyrically. Have you thought about paying homage to another rapper like Big L, or is that just kind of like a one-time thing? Because I feel as though you're a hip hop historian, you could really bridge the gap together. And this would actually segue into another question that I had for you: is that you're someone that when they say, "Oh well, they're too old," there's no excuse now for to get played on these radio stations and to get attention because you were born in 2004. You're still young, so we're going to be playing you now. You're still going to be blowing up here. So there's no excuse with old heads. So what are your thoughts on just it's always the hip hop genre? Because you look at rock, they play their legends. We hear them on the radio on those classic rock stations if you tune in. How come we don't get that with hip hop? Besides satellite, we know they still show love, but the mainstream hip hop stations, they never do throwback hours.
Yeah, I mean, Static does a throwback
He
hour, but
does.
Stat is, I think he's one of the last real DJs that's out here and doing everything that a DJ needs to do. Um, I think the problem is fucking can be a fucking DJ now, bro. Like,
Yeah.
all you gotta do is move to Bushwick, get a stupid fucking haircut, and you know, download a couple house mixes, and like you'll be all right. Like in today's DJ world, I guess. Go enjoy your drink tickets, but I don't know. I think, something for me that was really eye opening was going to South by Southwest for the first time and seeing Static and DJ Jazzy Jeff and Scratch Bastard and Craze and all of these people like who are actually like when you watch them DJ, like it's like the actual art of DJing. Like you see the work they're putting in, you see the seeds that they're planting. Yo, I'm gonna play this song that's gonna lead into this song, and then that's gonna lead it. Like it's like a movie, bro. Like so when you're listening to a DJ who like knows their shit and is like can read the room and it gets nasty with the scratches and shit, like yo, it gives listening to music a whole different experience. You know what I'm saying? Like it truly does. So um, I'm blessed that I've been around some really, really dope DJs and seeing how they do. But that's just how it goes. Not like a lot of shit. Just people don't bring the heat no more. I don't know, man.
No, they don't. And that goes into all forms. It goes to everyone wants to be a podcaster, everyone wants to be a rapper, everyone wants to be an actor. It's social media has everyone thinking they're celebrities out here and they put in no work. You could buy 1 million followers or 100,000 followers and walk your way right to a Grammy award or some kind of award show. It's crazy.
Yeah, people really have no idea. Like I think a lot of people think that there's like a red button that could be pushed. Like that, don't get me wrong, there is, but that's on like you gotta already be like signed and like have a hit record out in order for people to be like, all right, we're pushing the button, you know? But like there's no button that exists for like an artist that just is like coming up. It just doesn't exist. Like you could get signed, you could get a manager, you could go do a really dope show, but there's no button that's gonna take it from 1 to 100. You just gotta like, you gotta have that moment. You know what I'm saying?
You do. I wanted to take it back to the question. Is there another album that you would love to pay homage to?
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah,
No, you're good.
I got kind of lost within the last question, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I like paying homage. Like I'll drop like a bar, I'll interpolate a bar, but like I don't think that's super over the top. Like I think that's pretty centric in hip hop to take another rapper's bars, kind of spin it your own way. Like everybody kind of does that. It's just how rap is. You gotta pick and choose the ones. But so that's one thing I'll definitely continue doing. And like, I actually have a music video on this next album. I haven't announced this like yet, but it's fully in homage to the movie The Big Lebowski. It's called The Big Lebowski, SKO, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like I like paying homage with shit, but I don't want to do it too heavy, especially because I think with the Big L joint, like, I definitely like killed that. I did a good job on that, and like that's great. I'm super glad I did that, but I also don't want to necessarily like just make it my thing to be like, oh, I'm gonna like do another rapper every album. Everyone go get their love from me. I love hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I love music, so anything I could do to push it forward and pay homage, I will. But I also got fucking years to decide that. Maybe years of music will pass and I'll pick a childhood favorite of mine and be like, I'm gonna flip this, whatever. So we'll see what it is.
Exactly. How was your experience at the Mass Appeal event, the 50th anniversary? Styles P and Nas were there. Did you get to come across and meet them at all?
So it was dope. Yeah, yeah. I not nothing really major, but I shook both of their hands and just said what up. You know what I'm saying? Um, didn't it was super crowded. I was not gonna hit him with the yo da da da, just trying to keep it pushing. Like yo, much respect, salute, man. Appreciate what you do. Like whatever. Like I don't like talking motherfuckers ear off. Like unless like the only time I think that's really like fine to do is if someone is like, yo, blank, this is Lord Sko, and then I could be like, yo, thank you so much. Like I will say thank you so much. But like I'll fill them in a little more on what I do if I get the proper intro. But if I'm just cold calling a motherfucker walking up to them, for the most part, unless I say like, yo, peace, much love, and they're like, yo, I fuck with your shit, then I'll be like, oh, like, yo, you a legend. Like that happened with Pharaoh Monch. When I walked up on Pharaoh Monch, I try to be mad quick. I try to just hit him with the yo, peace, OG, much respect. He was like, oh, like, what's good, kid? Like, I see you. I be seeing you running around. I'm like, oh, shit, I like, like, thank you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I try to keep it pretty quick. Try to is the key word. Sometimes I might be, oh, I love Illmatic, but whatever. But you gotta keep it
Illmatic or It Was Written?
Illmatic, Illmatic.
Illmatic.
I mean,
Oh,
I don't want to like go with like that. That's just like it's fucking Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? The one that kills me is Illmatic or Ready to Die, and I always feel weird saying Ready to Die because it's Illmatic, but at the same time, Ready to Die I think is a little better.
mm. Yeah. Hey, it's all in preferences. I
Yeah.
don't. That's a good debate. Ready to Die or Illmatic. I don't have an answer for you because I like both of them.
And you
That's
know, you know that shit caused like beef too at the time because they both used like the baby picture, and that's why Wu Tang was like dissing on Biggie on Shark on Only Built for Cuban Links. They're like talking about the baby picture, album covers and shit.
yeah. And Nas addressed that on Godson, Last Real Alive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Facts, facts.
Crazy. Those are the stories of hip hop where people may not have seen anything in the forefront, but they definitely heard about it if they were tapped in.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, man.
Crazy.
I mean, it's like urban legend shit. You know what I'm
It is. How did you ever get to find out how your old Droog got a hold of listening to your music? Because he put your music onto your manager.
saying? Yeah, never. To be honest, you know, I've heard that he's not the nicest dude, so I've been a little scared. Like, when I meet him in the flesh, that will be one where I'll be able to not just hit him with the yo, much respect. I'd hit him with yo, thank you so much, and then maybe I would ask you, how the fuck did you even hear about me? You know what I'm saying? But I haven't met him yet. You know what I'm saying? Super dope MC. But yeah, I don't even know like what the appropriate way is to like ask that question via Instagram DM.
Mhm. But the DM, because you sent your manager the
I did.
DM
I did.
prior to that.
But like super prior, like
Mhm.
2 years prior, you know what I'm saying?
And look what happened. Now you're linked up.
Hell yeah, Yeah.
Crazy. You got this new album on the way, PIFF. You got
Yup.
this new song with Currency, which I use for the promo. How is it linking up with him, another MC in the game? He's got his own lane too.
Yeah, shit was dope.
Understand?
Definitely like an honor, you know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite MCs. So to be able to link with him was super special for me. And you know, I'm really happy with how that track came out. Like that was a cool one because, you know, at least especially with this album, like I didn't like know who I wanted on every single song. Like as I was making it, like I knew I like was like, oh, this is gonna be a feature song. Like this is gonna be a feature song. But like that one, I was like, yo, I'm getting Currency on this. Like I knew from the jump that like that was the one for him. Like I like tailored that song to him. So it was just cool to kind of like see that vision come to life a little bit. You know what I mean? And yeah, facts.
Are you big on features, or are you more? Do you prefer being solo? Because I feel as though as an MC,
No,
I see you
I
more as a
like,
solo.
yeah, I mean, like, I like doing features. Don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
Um, but like, it's important to have solo joints. Like, I don't like when, you know, like a rapper has like, I'm not personally like a fan of like when rappers do like a whole album with all features. Like, I think that's kind of a cop out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't put together like a strong album, like, and I get it. Like, if you want to just be like, this is my mixtape vibe. Like, I'm with all the homies. Like, I got all these features. Like that, I get it. But I don't know. To me, that's a little bit of a cop out. And you know, I do like doing features though, because I'm competitive, and obviously, like to me, I think it's really important to be able to, like just measure up to the greats. And
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like be able to do songs with people who you look up to and who have influenced you and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Out of everyone in the game, why Rock Marcy? Why was he the one that you felt as though he was better than you out of all the other MCs?
He's so good at rapping. I mean,
And
have you listened to Rock Marcy?
yeah, no, I've listened to him. I'm just curious because it's just out of everyone, that's who you
So,
pick.
he's so good at rapping. Like, like he says like out of every rapper I listen to, I feel like he says the most shit that like I actually am like, oh, like he says shit and I like audibly react. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was crazy. Like he got the most like he gets the most like not shock factor out of me, but just like like in wrestling, like they say wrestlers get pop from the crowd. Like he gets the most pop from me. I don't know. Like it's just something about it. It's very like and like if Doom was still alive, I would have told him the same shit. If Sean Price was still alive, I would have told him the same shit. But unfortunately they're not. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of the people who I really love listening to, some of them aren't that good anymore. All due respect, I'd still love to do songs with them, but some of them are like just not in their prime, and that's totally okay. Like a prime, like it's very rare to see people like have like a 10, 20 year prime. Like it's usually like a few years. And I feel like Rock Marcy like still delivers like top of the line shit. So I don't know, man. Like he's definitely an artist that I just like really like look at his shit and I'm like, wow, like that's so good. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
You know who's having a really great run? Jim Jones. And Static Selektah just did the Jomos record that was on the new album.
Jim Jones is definitely having a run, yo. I've been a big fan of Jim. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. I think a lot of people like have told me that I kind of sound like him, which I think is funny. Just because like I kind of hear it, but I'm also kind of like I don't know. But I love Dipset, and I've been a fan of Jim Sneaky for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So it was dope to see Static did that record with him too. Um, you know, and I thought that was a really dope track too because it wasn't it wasn't like a diss track, but he just talked his shit in a really like in a way that you just kind of got to be like, oh, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
It was a dope. It's a dope record. Like when he said that they taught him how to rap and he went
But
platinum
black,
and
yeah,
then he outlaps. Oh, when he said that and he outlapped them. Oh
yeah.
man,
No, I mean I love Cam, and Cam might have won like the maybe on like the social media front, but like I don't know, Jimmy Loki. I don't know if he won that. Like I don't know if it was like official beef, like Drake Kendrick, like who won, but I don't know. Jim definitely didn't lose. I don't know if he won, but I don't. He definitely didn't take the L on that. You know what I'm saying? Like he kind of, he definitely, he's not taking the L right now. He's having a good run. You know?
he definitely is. He didn't take the L, but you got a big W coming with Piff. This is supposed to be
Yeah.
for just a chill album for the weed smokers.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's just like a chill album. I think it's, I kind of was designing it. Oh shit, my fault.
Oh, you're good.
It's definitely for the weed smokers, but I kind of designed it like on some like the first time you smoke weed. So I like wanted to be like trippy and like funny and like you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't if I wanted to just do like a chill, like kick back album, like yeah, like this to me I'm trying to do more like it's more like honestly it's called Piff, but I think it's more like shrooms or acid. Um but at the same time it's not like I was trying to do something grounded, like within like the chill area, and not make like a like this is my trippy magnum opus like Travis Scott rodeo. Like nah, it's not like that grand, like in terms of like a psychedelic factor. But I'm excited for you to hear it. There's a lot of variety on there. It's a very mixed bag, and I think it's gonna take people in a lot of different directions, like a roller coaster. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking forward to hearing this song Randy Moss because
Yeah.
that's gonna be something to close the album out with.
Yeah, yo, that's definitely a favorite from people who I played it for. Like I always want to make sure I have really strong um closers, you know what I'm saying? And with Randy Moss, it's actually funny. Like I look he had to like go to war with my team because they really wanted that to be the single or one of the singles. And I was like, yo, like it's the outro. Like it can't be a single. It's the outro. They're like nobody knows it's the outro yet. It's not out yet. Like it's just such a good song. And I'm like, yo, but like if we put this out, it can't be the outro, and then that fucks up the flow of the whole album, you know. And I like fought for that to the dying day, you know. I guess we're still living, but I definitely clawed and scratched for that creative decision, and hopefully it pays off, man. Hopefully I receive it well as the outro.
It will. I could tell just by the songs that are on here already that you can already download and listen to. And everyone, please go download and listen to these new records and look forward to this new album, Piff. I did want to get into this because I did do my research in this aspect on you as well. Is that there's a time in your life where you felt as though that you weren't gonna live to a certain age. Have you stopped thinking in that mind frame? Are you still now focused on living in the moment and attacking your goals and not worrying if you're not going to be here in a couple years?
Yeah, I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I still kind of feel that way, but at the same time, like I think that was definitely a lot of like angst and like me feeling like, oh, like if this shit don't pan out for me, da 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 da. And now I still feel like, oh shit, if this shit don't pan out for me, I'm fucked. But in a different way, you know what I'm saying? Like in a way, just like at least like I have some morsel of hope with this. And it's not like, yo, I'm not like a depressed ass dude. I just also am like, life is temporary. Like I'm very like aware of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen it come and go. So it's I don't know, like I feel like I do somewhat glorify the idea of being dead, but I think that's because I'm very, very focused on my legacy being large. And ultimately, something that I need to understand as a human is that, I don't need to be dead to have a big legacy. But unfortunately, I feel like that is somewhat sometimes what pushes it like further. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like we see how shit goes. But, for me, I think it's just a matter of staying to it. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, understanding that. And ultimately, like, that's just my biggest hope slash fear is hope to have like a big legacy and fear to not. So, I guess dying is my cop out in terms of being like, fuck it. If I die next year, motherfuckers gonna talk about me like I'm Juice WRLD.
Mm. That's deep. That is deep, though. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have a very strong sense of emotional intelligence. So I'm not like, I don't know, man. Like, it's not something that crosses my mind a lot. But at the same time, like, I do think a lot about, like, if I died, like, what would be left? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I going to be a t shirt and an Instagram post, or am I going to be something that is iconic forever? You know what I mean?
Mm. No, it definitely gives a lot of people something to think about, especially with their own legacies and careers. I'll tell you that. And then you want to be something bigger than a t-shirt and an Instagram post. And
Absolutely.
we're not gonna emphasize on when that's gonna happen for anyone here listening, but we're gonna continue on celebrating you and giving the flowers while you're here because you're still very young and that's important.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely. I appreciate that, my bro.
of course, with this new album, you went out to LA. Is there some things here that you're gonna be putting in this album from when you were out there, or was this all before this new album came out?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I had think I had two trips to LA when I was making this album. Um, but yeah, I mean, the second trip to LA, I think it kind of, I had most of my album done. I think I recorded one or two more um, songs when I was out in LA. But I think that was an important trip for me to like just get away from New York for a little bit, and I definitely came back with a different mind state in terms of just like what I want to be as an artist. But like, the record was already done, but I think it just kind of like locked in my thinking a little more of like, all right, like this is what we got to do to make this happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. When you go out to these places, do you kind of take in the atmosphere when you're making these records? When you're Cali, I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna get this influence from the Dog Pound and the Chronic, and listen to. Are you someone that goes in and soaks in the complete environment when you're in a place?
Not really. Like last time I was in LA, I was kind of joking with my man Surrealist about like, yo, what if I hopped on a G Funk beat? Like that'd be crazy. But like for me, it's more so like I take note of like the actual environment, kind of to go back to what we was talking about earlier, like with being able to reflect the feeling. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, everybody feels differently. Um, but like being able to kind of depict the overall like sound um or like the sound that people like associate with it, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
um yeah, like I think that is pretty crazy, you know what I'm saying?
It
um
is.
but I think like like when I'm out in Cali, like I'm thinking like what does this feel like as a New Yorker? Not so much like let me get some like super synthed out beats and rap like I'm from the Bay. Like, I feel like I like taking in the feeling of that environment and like kind of reflecting that. But also like something that I realize is that I'm really young and I haven't seen like a lot of the world, but I can't wait to go to like Europe and be able to feel that environment because I feel like it's gonna bring a whole different vibe to my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Something with you is I feel as though I know you love the boom bap. That's what you're rooted in, of course. But is there different types of sounds that you want to dip into? Because when I see you, especially your appearance too, I feel as though we could see you on some Rage Against the Machine type of rock rap record. Is that something that you would ever want to do?
Uh, nah, I don't know. I think it's a little corny, to
Little
be
quick.
honest. For me personally, um, like I just think like um, sorry, my phone. I'm just
Oh,
texting
you're
my
good.
girl. She asking what I want for dinner, and I was like, sorry, you know what I want for dinner. What's it called? But yeah, to be honest, I don't really see myself going in that direction. And like I also just think it's like such a cliche that white rappers have done. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of done to death. But like I've been thinking of my fault, bro. I've been thinking a lot about what my next album after this Static tape is gonna sound like because the best way I'm trying to say it is like PIFF is somewhat of a curveball and I think a good curveball. Like if I'm the pitcher, I just threw a curveball and the motherfucker swung and missed, but it had such an ill break on the ball that they were just like, damn, like that was a good pitch, yo. Like that caught the strike zone. I fucking swung and I missed. And the hitter just got to be like, all right, that was the heat. Fastball, like for the static shit, I'm trying to just chuck the fastball down the middle, but I'm just trying to throw that shit so hot that the fucking hitter got to look at it like God damn, that motherfucker just threw 105 miles an hour. I wasn't even gonna swing at that. It was right down the middle. I could have hit it out the park, but that was crazy, you know? So obviously, as the hitter, I want to hit home runs on both of them. But the static one is more of a cold shot. You know what I'm saying? That was me stepping up to the plate, being like, I'm gonna hit it right there. Bop, and then hitting it right there. Piff is more of a 3-2 count. And you know what I'm saying? I pulled it and it stayed fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, with the rocks rap stuff, you're right. It's corny, especially when you see a lot of these guys sold out. When you look at a lot of them
Yeah,
just sold out hip hop. They used hip hop to get into other lanes.
absolutely. And like, I think fusing hip hop with other genres is dope. But I just don't know, like, and people have done the rock hip hop shit well. Um, but like I love the Jay-Z Linkin Park album.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
I think that's just dope. But it's also like that's like a remix album. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he was rapping the same verses on the Blueprint, which is why it was cool because he was just talking his shit and it just gave the songs a completely different feel. Versus like I think if he went in there being like, I got to write to this Linkin Park shit, like no one wants to hear Jay-Z rapping about killing himself. Like, I mean, like just truthfully. You know what I mean? And yeah, like I think like it's weird because I know music off the sounds, but I wish I could describe it better. Like I've been thinking a lot about how I want my next album to sound after this static shit. And I'm thinking I'm gonna either go in like a really, really soul heavy, like super, super soul, like not like just really jazzy, like brass, like shit like that. Or I'm thinking of kind of doing something that's just like really different again. But I don't really know like how I want to like I have a vision, but I just don't even know how to put it into words because I just think it would be dope. Like just doing beats that like motherfuckers would never think could be rapped on type shit. Like almost like some JPEG Mafia or like Danny Brown shit where I'm like the production is just really, really experimental and like constantly changing and like shit like that. And that would be a really hard album to make, but I also think it would be a fun album to make. And I just want to make it at some point. You know what I'm saying? And I've been wanting to make it at some point.
It'll happen.
Yeah, but I also know I can't force that. Like when that comes, like that's gonna be what it is. You know what I'm saying?
It will. Have you had a chance to run into ASAP Rocky throughout your time in the industry at
Yo,
all?
I actually have, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I met him. Were you asking because you were curious or because you know?
Oh, I was asking because I was curious.
Okay, yeah, I met him. It was mad funny. I was outside of a dive bar. I was like in the dive bar with my girl and a bunch of homies and shit. I just shot a music video. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I shot a what video was it? I'm trying to think on what video it was, but I had like, I just done a show. Wasn't a video, but like we had all gone to the spot after the show. We were drinking, whatever. Da, da, da. I was lit because I just performed, and my man Keon comes in and was like, "Yo, ASAP Rocky's outside," and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He was like, "He's outside." I like went outside and he was out there, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I like went up to him and was like, "Yo, it's good," and like I did see this was an instance where I like did too much because I should have just been like, "Yo, much respect," but I was like, "Yo, it's good to meet you, bro. I'm on ASAP 12's next album." Blah blah blah. Like I talked a little too much, and I could tell he was kind of just like, "Yo, I like what?" And like I told him this is what's funny. I was like, "Yo, I'm 20 years old." He was like, "Damn, you 20, bro? You gotta lay off them Newports and liquor, bro." Like I thought you. He was like, "I thought you was mad old." I was like, "Nah." He was like, "Nah, stay at it, bro." He wasn't a dick, but I was also like, "Damn." This is what he was a dick about. My man's was like trying to get a video of it, and like I didn't tell my man's like go get a video of it, but like my man's was like sneaky recording, and like his bodyguard like peeped it, and it was like, and like he was like he like told his bodyguard he was like, "Yo, no filming, no filming," and then like his bodyguard like got up on my man, was like, "Yo, delete that shit."
Crazy. It's
Yeah,
another wild story. And you've had a lot of stories out there and just working with a lot of greats as well. Grand Poobah, I did hear about this.
yeah, man.
Del the Funky Homo Sapien, that's another
Yeah,
legend that you work with.
that was the man. Yeah, I
Hit-
fucking loved that.
who else is on that bucket list for you? Because we mentioned a lot of them already. Who's someone that we may not think of when it comes to you, who you want to work with?
Someone who you wouldn't think of, it like someone who like because I really want to do a joint with Lil Wayne. Like that's a bucket list. Jada Kiss is on the bucket list. G Herbo, Danny Brown, Freddie Gibbs, Gunn, Joey for sure. Trying to think. Nas obviously would be crazy. Um, Alchemist definitely. Primo for sure. Uh, Yeah, I mean, bro, I don't, like, bro, I've listened. I started listening to like less and less music over the years, just because like it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be in my own world. But all of those names are people who I would love to collab with. Wiz would be dope. Kid Cudi would be dope. Um, Childish Gambino would be dope. Uh, yeah, yeah. To be honest,
You wanted to be a wrestler before you became a rapper, and you also
yeah.
have these wrestling influences. You kind of got to be careful with this because I remember when West Side Gun, because he's in big into the wrestling stuff. I heard there was some lawsuit or something that happened with one of his albums, with the Fourth Rope album or something like that. I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, like he used a wrestler's an announcer's like voice, and then the announcer got pissed, but then WWE fired him after he got pissed. That was pretty much it.
Mm, crazy.
Motherfuckers be dicks all the time, man. I don't know.
They do. Let's talk about this fashion sense because you're someone that really you're really into the hip hop culture as far as fashion, doing your research, going to thrift stores, finding Carl Kanai, Pele Pele's, Averex. You like the Averex jackets. You got it all, man.
Yeah, man. Nah, fucking, just gotta to be one of the best. You gotta do what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Because people look at it too, because I tend to dress. I'm very old school and I dress. I'm not with skinny jeans. I don't do any of that. I'm not into that because I'm more old school. They always say that you look outdated when you don't dress like them. That's just crazy because it's like, why am I gonna wear skinny jeans and a Montclair? I don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
Nah, I don't know. Like for me, I don't know. Are you from New York
I'm from Connecticut, but I went to St. John's in Queens. That's where I got my start in
oh,
radio
dope,
and interviewing.
dope, dope, dope. Yeah. Fucking, at least in New York, I don't know. Like, I think I stand out. Like, people be like, "Yo, you fit crazy," or like, "Yo, I like your style," all the time. So, I think I put it together enough where people know that it's the style that I'm rocking with. Like, and it's hard for me to realize because it's just like what I wear, but I be forgetting that to like the regular person, like me walking down the street, like I'd probably look like fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like how I feel walking down the street and I see like a goth kid or an emo kid, and I'm like, oh shit, but like I'm the hip hop kid. You know what I'm saying?
I have more of a problem with the Vineyard Vines. I'm not going to get too
Yeah,
deep into
fuck
it, but
that. If you
yeah.
wear Vineyard Vines, like I feel like if you wear Vineyard Vines, it just is an indication that I could kick your ass.
Yo, I need an air horn for the show just for
So
that.
yeah, fact.
Yeah, fuck Vineyard Vine. That's gonna be one of the only times I curse. Yeah, I'm not into Vineyard Vines, Bass Pro Shop, all this crazy redneck attire that they got
Yeah,
on.
I don't know, man.
Preppy kids
I
wear.
did look. I'm trying to update my fashion sense a little bit, and like keep the baggy, but like I want to get with some new brands. It's hard though, because I genuinely like I've been like shopping a lot. Like it's just like I don't see that much shit I like. I'm like, yo, this shit is all kind of whack. I did just get them new Jordan SBs though.
Oh, I did see those online.
Shout out to my uncle, yo. My uncle pulled them in. He collects SBs, so he had the plug on them for me. But yeah, like I'm trying to find some shit. I like Japanese fashion a lot. Like I feel like if I took a trip to Japan for like a month, I'll come back and I'll be like crazy with the shits, bro.
I'm sure you would be. How about this? Because you're from New York. Do you have a pair of Ewings? I'm a big Ewing guy because the whole New York hip hop culture.
Man, I don't got no you. That's good.
Oh,
I almost exclusively wear butters, bro. Like I
okay.
almost always wear Timberlands. I tried to do black butters, it didn't really work. I don't really wear enough black. I got a pair of Bapesters I sneak in. I used to wear all Air Force Ones, so then I went to Tim's, and I like the Bapesters because like them shits is the same silhouette as the Air Force One. Like I never really had a pair of Jordans growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like I had like I remember I had LeBrons. I had the bronze that wrapped on your ankle and shit, bro.
Okay.
Them tall joints.
Yeah,
And I had the Hyperdunks. What?
the Nike
Stop
Hyper
playing.
Dunks.
You remember them, Johns?
Yeah, I remember those.
That was my shit, boy. What?
That's
now,
crazy.
yeah, that was a throwback right there, right? But now I'm like I almost always wear Timberlands. But I'm trying to get my sneaker game right. I'm trying to get some other things right. I mean, pop out looking like I got my own stylist because that's something I peeped. Like I went out for New York Fashion Week. I was at mad events, dress how I dress. The motherfuckers was like, "Yo, I like your fit. I like your fit." And I'm looking around like, I like your fit, bro. Like you look like you have a whole stylist, bro. I look like I stepped out the crib and I got some nice pieces, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. I was trying to put on some of my best fits for when I was stepping out. But like, there's still a difference, you know. You see when a motherfucker got this shit tailored and all of that, and fucking probably steamed their shirt when they was coming out the crib this morning. Like that work be serious, bro. Like I don't know. I gotta take better care of my shit, I guess.
How about do you like I'm a big jersey guy with Mitchell and Ness. Do you like jerseys at all?
I used to be a big jersey dude, and I like jerseys. I think like, you just gotta dress for the jersey. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I'm a big hat dude. I got mad hats.
got the
Like,
fitted.
yeah, I'm always on my fitteds, and like I like flavors. So like I don't really care about the team. I'll just rock different crazy hats if it's fire, on my Dipset shit. But only if it's MLB. Motherfuckers running around rocking fucking NBA hats, NHL hats, or fucking NFL hats. That shit is not acceptable if you under the age of 35.
Oh, I got one. Hey, I got a Nick hat on.
That's not. I mean, Nick's hat is the only one I make the exception for. 'Cause people wear that shit, but I don't know, man. I can't get like. I feel like it's different with the fucking fitteds. You know what I'm saying? Is that a fitted or a snapback?
This is a fitted.
All right, so maybe you just caught the stray on me, but you know what I'm saying?
He threw a stray at me on my own show. Crazy. No, but I do agree with you on this. When it comes to like basketball and football, I gotta have a snapback. But baseball is fitted for me. This is the
Right.
only Nick hat I have in a fitted, which is
But Nick
crazy.
is like the one that I'll give a pass. Like, and like I see people rocking Celtics, like, and I fuck with the Celtics. I'm not a Celtics hater, but like I don't know, like that's a loud ass logo to like have on a hat. Like you got a whole motherfucker on your hat, bro. Like chill, bro. Like I don't know. Like imagine someone comes up to dap you and they rocking like a Utah Jazz hat.
I never thought about it this deeply.
Hey, get away from me, bro. What are you doing? Yo, if someone pulls up to me wearing like a fucking like a Pittsburgh Steelers hat, like what? What the fuck is that, dude? Like I don't know. If it's a dad hat, it's okay. Like fine. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're like over the age of 35, fine. But like, dude, like that is crazy work, bro. You need the MLB. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man.
I'll
Like,
tell you this: I don't want to see anyone in no Bass Pro Shop hats. If I see those
yo,
stupid,
that's wild. Yeah, I hate the like. That's like, yeah, bro. I don't know how that shit became what it became.
yeah, I don't want to see any of those trucker Bass Pro Shop. I don't want to see any of that garbage. That's my problem with when I see if I were to dap. I wouldn't even dap you up if you wore that. Not you. I'm talking about anyone that just dap it up, right? Don't do not. I can't take you seriously with a redneck fish hat on,
Yo,
please.
like look, I kind of like. I think it's cool, like the idea, like oh, like these like metrosexual kids are like reclaiming like the fucking redneck shit, but it's also just like, dude, like I don't know how that shit got so popping, bro.
I don't get it either. It's whack as hell.
It is.
It's so whack. But man, you know what's crazy, and me doing my research is that pandemic is when it really started. You growing your hair here. So what was your hairstyle before this? Was it fades? What was the style before this?
I like spiky hair, like
Spiky.
yeah, we're here with the spikes, boy. You know what I'm saying? A little fade on the side, but spiky on top. Or if I didn't do my hair, it would just be like regular.
Crazy. You're only gonna cut this when TMZ finds you. That's when you can
Type
explain
shit.
it.
Type shit.
Crazy. It works for you, man. You're your own person. You stay true to your core, and that's what we need out here. Any future work with Muggs? You linked up with Muggs.
Yeah, I would love to work. Yeah, do more work with him. You know what I'm saying? Like we went to LA, I think we did 2 songs, but I hit him. I hit him when the fires happened. Check in on him. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, no, I haven't gotten a chance to lock in with Muggs since I last did. But you know, salutes to the OG right there. You know what I'm saying? Super solid. Um, good dude, man. He got like a compound. It's a dope studio space. You know what I'm saying?
Great. This is going to be something that's interesting too. Did you ever get the chance to find a great A&R? Because this was something that you were doing early on in the game, which linked you up to finding your manager and DMing them. Did you ever get to find that A&R that you were looking for?
Yeah, I mean, my man Harrison Kramer, like, shout outs to my man Harrison. You know, he really put in that work and has done a lot. But, you know, it was funny because, like, people didn't really take him seriously at first. Like, when he first was reaching out to motherfuckers, like, we all kind of thought he was, like, weird. Like, nobody really, like, knew who he was. He didn't have no music shit on his thing. And, you know, that part of the label wasn't that developed at the time. But you know, he really put in a lot of work to build something over at EQ, which is now Rock Nation Distro. And you know, salutes to him. He put in that work and you know, facts.
Salute to him. Piff, we got that on the way, March 28th. Is
Yes,
there anything
sir.
else you want to let everyone know about this upcoming album? What else we can expect? I think we covered a
Yeah,
lot.
yo. Thorough shit, yo. But you know, Piff fucking drops on Friday. We got the vinyl with that through Fat Beats. Salutes to them. And you know, if I'm in your city, cop a tickets for the Piff tour. You know what I mean? We got 15 dates on the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, Pacific Northwest, Toronto and joints. So yeah, man, that's what it is.
I'm looking forward to this album, man. It's gonna be big.
Thanks, man. Nah, I'm looking forward to it too, man.
You
Appreciate you.
already know. I want to thank you for coming on the show today. I had a great time speaking with you. Thank you for all that you do for hip hop and keeping it real out here, especially amongst the younger generation. We need more people like you because that's
Yeah,
bridging the gap for sure. And shout out to Sean, my guy at Cosign, Sean Wiggs. That's a guy right there. Shout out to him for getting us connected and all set up. But man, you're always welcome back on the show. Anytime you got some new material, we got to do this again for sure.
yeah, man. Nah, hopefully, you said you in Connecticut, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know if you closer to Boston or to New York, but hopefully I'll see you at one of those, man. It'll be dope.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, probably New York. I'm more of a New York guy.
All right, hell yeah, man. Most definitely.
You already know. And they can follow you on Instagram, X at Lord SKO.
Yep, LORDSKO. That's me.
You got it, man. Lord SKO, take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. All right, man.
Yes, sir. Much
All
love.
right, man. Peace out.
Peace.
Yeah.